with a 45.9 million Canadian equity investment. So it's an all-share deal, but that will give us the opportunity, we believe, to really accelerate Mina Tucano's restart and to get to 150,000 ounces a year. We have a lot of gold. We have Tucano Gold has a lot of gold. It's by far the richest gold deposit, we think, in Brazil. It's largely then de-risked because you then know you have a big partner behind you to take Mina Tucano back to world-class status. Basically, the minimum investment is 2,000 Canadian dollars.
All right. Today we're having a discussion with Jeremy Gray, the CEO of Tucano Gold. And Jeremy, you have some amazing news to share with us at home.
Absolutely, Stein. Tucano Gold has announced that we have signed a term sheet with a large private equity group to take a 55% stake in Tucano Gold Inc., with a 45.9 million Canadian equity investment. So it's an all-share deal. It's subject to DD, of course, but that will give us the opportunity, we believe, to really accelerate Mina Tucano's restart and to get to 150,000 ounces a year.
Excellent. And of course, $45.9 million sounds amazing. Perhaps we can talk about what kind of terms are associated with it. It's of course not a binding deal just yet. When should we expect that to become definitive?
Yes, well, now we've been working with this group now for nearly 4 months. They're deep in legal DD. They're coming to site this week. There's a whole team, but they know the asset really well. They love the whole scalability of Tucano Gold. They love Brazil. They love the potential to roll up more deals and acquisitions in country. And so we're hoping to close the first tranche of 18.9 million Canadian in the middle of January, and then to close the second balance in 120 days of 27 million Canadian.
All right, and perhaps we can talk about what it will allow you to do with this money. We have given, I think, a great first overview in our recent video on Tucano Gold. I will link to that down below for the viewers watching. But perhaps we can talk about the restart strategy that you will implement now. The money should close somewhere in January, I believe. What are the timelines going to be?
Well, what it really does, Stein, is it allows us to really go for it. I mean, as you know, we've been talking to you for nearly a year. We've raised 14 million Canadian ourselves, but we've done it in slow motion. And it just took longer than we expected. But what this money does, it does a number of things. First, it allows us to accelerate the open pit expansion, particularly Eurocom Central South pushback work, which is an $18 million US dollar piece of capex. We've already paid $3 million deposit for that. That's a very large pit, over 200,000 ounces in that one pit of our 8 pits that we have. It also, importantly, gives us momentum, I believe, to accelerate plans to go underground at Eurocom North. The underground potential, as we've said before at Tucano Gold, we believe this is probably the best undeveloped gold resource, underground resource in Brazil, at least 5 million ounces, but we'd like to go underground as soon as possible because the reason is it allows you to blend the open pit feed of 1 to 1.5 grams with a beautiful 4 to 5 gram feed from underground and take that average to 2 grams through the mill, which would have tremendous scalability and let us get to 150,000 ounces at least.
Yeah, perhaps we can explain it in a bit more simple terms than even that, Jeremy. I think you already started hinting at it. Of course, when you increase the average grade, your production goes up because the production is limited by the amount of tons that go in, not the gold that comes out. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And, you know, we do have a very large mill, 10,000 tons a day. So let's say you do 1 gram. 1 gram times 10,000 is 10,000 grams. You're getting 92% recovery. So you're doing about 300 ounces a day, or at today's prices, about 700,000 US. Now, if you take that to 2 grams, the numbers obviously swell. So that's 20,000 grams, 92% recovery, suddenly doing close to 700 ounces a day. Now, I'm not saying we're going to do that, but that's the beauty of grade. Grade allows you to scale up your production without any additional cost. So basically means the cost per ounce drops dramatically.
All right, excellent. And concurrent to this private equity placement that you're doing, there's also a round that's open to the viewers watching. Perhaps you can talk about how people can get in touch and what kind of the barrier of entry is to participate in this Tucano Gold story.
Yes, absolutely. We have a wonderful supportive shareholder group. And if you go on to tucanogold.com, contact Edward Baum and let them know that you'd like to learn more about Tucano Gold. I'll happily give you a call. But we're doing this 70-cent round, which is exactly the same price as the private equity group. It comes with a half warrant at $1 for good for 2 years. And that's a pre-money valuation, just to give you an idea, of only 35 million Canadian dollars versus replacement cost of at least 500 million US. So we want to raise another 3.5 million now before Christmas to maintain the momentum of the startup of the mill and make sure everything goes smoothly as we bring in the new and strong partner in the middle of January. So that offer is still open to everyone at 70 cents. We actually did an 80-cent round, and we've repriced that to 70 cents to be in line with the private equity group, and it's only fair everyone goes in at the same level. So fantastic opportunity. It's largely then de-risked because you then know you have a big partner behind you to take Mina Tucano back to world-class status. You know, Stein, in some ways, it's a little bit like the Chelsea Football Club, where it was languishing in Division Two for many years, and then you get a big owner or big supporter, and they win the European Championship. There's a lot to be said for having a very powerful backer to allow you to do the things you dream of, but you're just financially constrained to be able to do those, to buy the players, as an analogy. We have a huge football stadium. We have a fantastic heritage and a wonderful history there. And we also know we have 20, 30, 40 years of mine life ahead of us.
Great. Thank you for that overview there, Jeremy, and great analogy also. Perhaps we can also talk about timelines real quick. What should investors be expecting now? Should this private equity deal close for the mill to actually start running and the first gold to be poured?
Basically, Stein, when this deal closes, which we hope is middle of January, we will give the team the green light to basically go for it, turn it on as quickly as possible. Obviously, we will hopefully get all the parts ordered before then and have them delivered in time. We even have cyanide waiting at the port right now. We're waiting for basically everything's there. We've got 20,000 ounces on the ROM pad. At 20,000 ounces at today's gold price is over $45 million of gold sitting there ready to be processed right now. So it's just all systems go. We've been waiting to do this now for 12 months, and the team's very keen and eager to really get started. The minute you start producing gold, obviously the whole dynamic of the business changes. Everyone wants to be your best friend when you're producing gold, and we have a lot of gold. We have Tucano Gold has a lot of gold. It's by far the richest gold deposit, we think, in Brazil. It's the biggest gold mine in northern Brazil. It's just got huge scale and potential. So the answer is turn on as soon as possible, start producing good gold and good shipments of, and getting that cash flow really churning higher and higher as the gold price, we think, goes higher as well.
Great, and I would like to take that actually to the gold price. So great segue there, Jeremy. Thank you for that. We saw a recent very positive bounce from the trend line that we're seeing on the gold price. Perhaps we can quickly talk about how profitable Tucano would actually be at prices like this, roughly $2,650 currently on the gold price. How profitable would Tucano be currently?
Oh, super profitable. To be honest, the price of gold for us is more important than what the price is in Brazil. I don't know if you noticed, but the real has weakened materially this year. So it means we will get nearly 16,000 reals per ounce. 16,000 reals. Now, when we first went to Brazil 5 years ago, we were doing very small shipments at 4,000 reals an ounce, to give you an example. So that price is, if it's 16,000, I think our cost to produce gold at Tucano will probably be at most 6,000 reals. So there's a 10,000 real profit margin, we think, at today's price. So if you think about that, put that in US dollars, that's $1,800 an ounce profit margin, and you're producing 10,000 ounces a month. So you're making really, really good money in this market. And that's why so many Brazilian producers, their share prices have rocketed much higher this year, because I can't think of a better country to produce gold right now, with that dynamic of a weak currency, a wonderful workforce, highly trained, highly skilled. And Tucano Gold will be the largest employer in the state of Amapá, and that's really, really important to us. This is a wonderful state in the northern top of Brazil, in the Amazon. It needs employment, and we've really focused on getting the staff back and building that back to a really successful company.
That would definitely be exciting to see Tucano Gold become a successful company once again. Perhaps we can also quickly talk about the current status of potentially listing, because of course Tucano Gold is currently a private corporation. Recently, you were looking at potentially a reverse merger. What is the current status of that?
Yes, Stein, we spent all of this year looking for a shell. We came close with Golden Shield. We had a number of interviews. Now that we have hopefully when we complete this transaction, a very strong backer, I think they would like us to take a step back and find a partner in Brazil, probably to list with, that's got a listing probably, let's say, in Canada or where it might be. So consolidate Tucano with maybe one other producer, take it to 250,000 ounces. So I think that's going to be the strategy. It's certainly evolved since we spoke. We first started talking. We started talking with shells in Canada. We talked with shells in Australia. But now that we have a very strong backer, I think take a little step back, do it really well, and consolidate. Maybe add another big mine in the company and get a huge re-rating on the back of that. So you should see us listed within 6 to 9 months. There's no change to that timeline, but maybe with a slightly different dancing partner than the ones we've been talking to before.
All right, definitely exciting. We'll see what comes out of that 6 to 9 month time frame. Great overview there, Jeremy. Thank you so much. Perhaps we can end off with a reminder how people can actually get in touch and how they can participate. And please don't forget to mention what the barrier of entry is.
Look, Stein, we have a wonderful network of investors who've supported us in all three of our companies. We have Pilar Gold, Liva Gold, and Tucano. Tucano is by far our biggest. We have over 600 sophisticated mums and dad shareholders who've supported us over these last 5 years. So go to tucanogold.com. Just contact Edward Baum. I love talking to my investor base. I have over 600 investors. I speak to many every day. Love to learn what they're thinking, and you just basically, the minimum investment is 2,000 Canadian dollars. So there's no, you don't need to be a super large ticket. Our idea is to give our shareholders the opportunity to make significant returns, not overnight. This does take time, but when you bought a business like Tucano at the price that we bought it a year ago, it allows everyone to get set now at a very, very low valuation of only 35 million, which is insane, right? It's insane that we're even pricing at 35 Canadian. I mean, if it was a listed company, if it was trading today, it'd be 5-6 times that. So we want to give an opportunity for everyone. Just give us a contact and reach out to us at tucanogold.com, and would love to have you join this journey.